Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be showing you how to use Zustand with React Native Expo. So basically Zustand is a lightweight and flexible state management library for React and React Native. So specifically we'll be using Zustand with React Native Expo like I said earlier, and we'll be implementing Zustand as a state management library for a task management application. So if you're tired of the complexities of Redux, context API, well, this video is for you. So let's get started into the video. So basically we have a ready UI interface for our task management application, where there's an input to add the task, there's a button to add the task, and also a row to display the task that has been added. So all we're going to be doing in this video is handling the state management and also the functionalities of adding and editing a task. So to implement Zustand in your application, your React Native application, you can go ahead by starting to create a folder named store. You can name it anything you want, but I'll go with store. Then under the store we'll have a task store.js. You can have other stores basically under your store that will for other states that you want to handle, or also for other part of the application you want to handle. Well, then the next we're going to be looking at in Zustand will be the create function, and the create function basically creates the store for us for our application. Yeah, so we're going to declare a hook. We're going to create sort of like a hook that will be used in our app.js file, named the task use task store, and this will be the create callback. This will carry the create callback, and inside the callback we have a parameter called set. This set parameter basically is used for, or it serves as a setter function for editing your states. So to create a state in Zustand with Zustand, basically you can just write in the name of the state, let's say tasks, and the type of state or value you want to store. Currently I'll be using an array. You can add in more values into the array, but I'll leave mine empty currently. After creating my states, my task states, I want to add actions, basically like what I'll use to create or add to the states, what I'll use to update a task in the state and all that. So the first action I'm going to add is add task. So basically the add task is going to carry a parameter, and that will be the task itself. So we're going to pass in a task to the add task function. So this will be a set callback, and in this set we have a state. This state is basically used to refer to the state you've created right inside your store. So now for a new task, to add a new task, we just reset the tasks, and we're going to do the previous tasks, and we'll add a new task. So that's it for the add task. Then for the next one, which is the delete task, I'll duplicate this, say delete task. Now for the delete task, what we're going to be requiring from the application is the ID of the task we want to delete. So with the ID of the task we want to delete, we can filter out all the tasks that have that particular ID. We can filter them out. So we're going to basically use the state dot tasks dot filter. I'm going to filter where the ID, let me see the task, where the task.id is equals to the ID. So this will basically return all the tasks where, sorry, not ID. So this will basically return all the tasks where the ID is not equals to the ID that has been passed, basically out the ID that has been the task with the ID that has been passed. So after deleting the task, then the next is updating the state of the task. So we name it update task, and we'll be requiring two functions, two arguments or two parameters from this function, which will be the ID and the new task, or the updated task, or the updated field. Let me put it that way, updated field. So we're going to create a new state, or we're going to map through the states and actually get the task with that ID, then passing the updated field there. So we're going to make use of the state dot tasks dot map. Now this map will say the task, and it's going to be where the task dot ID is equals to ID. Then we're going to pass in the task and also the updated field. So the updated field is going to be in an object, sort of like an object carrying the field of the task, or an object carrying the field that wants to update. So this is if the task.id is equals to ID, then it's going to add the updated field to the task, else to just return the item. Sorry, to just return the task itself. With this, we've created our store or our states basically for our task. So what we're going to do is to export the use task store. Export default new task store. Alright. So to use this in our application, we're going to pass in the use task store. It's going to be the way you use your hook. Then we're going to pick out the parameters from the use task store. So the first is the tasks. So the task is going to be in the flat list. So the task, we're going to pass it into the data field of our flat list. Currently it's an empty array, so it's going to return the no tags found because of this list empty components which I've added. It just displays whatever you pass in there if the array is empty. So once that is passed, the next one we're going to pass in is the add task. Now in this add task, firstly we're going to pick out, or we're going to collect the input from the user when the user enters a task basically. So we're going to create a state, local state basically. I'm going to name it inputs or user inputs. Then the user input is going to be an empty field. Then in our text inputs, the value is going to be the user inputs. Then we'll add an unchanged text. Basically, when the text is changed, we'll pass the text from the unchanged text callback and set the user input to the text. Once that is done, use state as the main store imported. Once that's done, any input I pass into here will be saved into the user input state. Then the next will be the add task. I don't want to write in the whole function here, so I'm going to create another function here, add task local. So basically this is going to check first if the user inputs dot trim, if it's empty, Let's see if the length is less than 1. So just going to toast at the bottom, toast the show. Please enter a task. I'm going to pass the function here on press add task local. So pass in please enter task, and the duration should be toast_android.short, just to show that there's something missing there. And we are passing the onPress, the add task local, to the onPress function of our button there. So if we save this and we don't have anything here, if you click on this, we'll see a toast, please enter a task. If I say hey, that toast shows no more. So if that field is done and there's actually an input there, that's when we want to add the task. And from the states from our store, the add task will just basically carry the task itself. So our task will have a type of format where one will be the ID, and then the ID, I'm going to make use of the dates.now, which is like the timestamp, which is actually very unique. So every second it changes, or every millisecond it changes. That's the ID. Then the ID. Then we have the task itself. The task itself will be the user input. Then we have the status, and the status is going to be pending currently. So once we do that, we have this. So currently I didn't map the data. I'm going to say I didn't pass in the value. So for the task now, I'm going to have the task dots. Let me pass in this. Okay, a task dot task. Sorry. item.task. All right. Want to also change the view of this check mark. I want to say if the check mark, if the status is completed, that's when you should check the check mark. I'm going to say the task dot item dot task dot dot status is equals to completed. Then that's when we should get the check mark. So we have this where we can add another task. Let's say go to the gym. Okay, let me give this also the row a margin bottom. Sorry. All right, so you can see that the task is actually adding to the bottom, and that's because of the way the data is, the way we're structuring data, or how it's being added to the task array. So we're going to do a change here. So this task is adding it after the previous task. So we're going to copy this and put this before each task. So since we've changed the state, the old state clears. So let me say go to the gym now. Say greet my friends. And see currently it adds it to the top. So also what I want to do is, once we add a task, it should show a toast that the task has been added. Then also we should clear the user input. The user input should be empty. So let's see, the last task I want to add is help someone. Task has been added, input is cleared, and we have it as our first. So that's basically for the adding now. So the next operation we want to handle is the delete task. So we're going to create, firstly, get our delete task function from our store, the delete task, and we add the delete task local. So we currently have the delete task local. So for this delete task local, we're going to pass in the ID from here, because basically this is going to be from the mapped data. So we're going to get the ID from there and pass it into the delete task local. And from delete task local, we don't need to check since there's no input coming from the user. All we just have to do is copy this, use the delete task, then the ID. Basically, task has been deleted. Yeah. So for this, we're going to add the press for the trash icon. Delete task local. Let's see. Alright, didn't delete. Okay, I haven't passed the ID, sorry. So the ID basically is going to be the task.item.id. Alright, yes, task has been deleted. Task has been deleted. Now we have no task found. Alright, so the delete task is done currently. Now the next is going to be the update task, and that's basically going to be changing the status of tasks from pending to completed to pending and all that. So it's going to be the update. I'm going to create a function update task local, and remember this will have the ID and also the task itself. And so we have to impute this from our also just like we have to import this from our store, our task store. So basically the update task requires two fields, the ID and the field we want to update, which will be in an object. So we're going to have the ID, which is passed from here, and the field. So what we're going to do currently, we're going to pass we're going to do a check. We're going to do a check if the status is equals to completed. Then we're going to pass this. So we're going to add a new parameter here, which is going to be the new status. So we're going to use the update task local, going to be the task.item.id for the ID, and if it's completed, we're going to, so once they click one if it's completed and they click it again, it's going to like change it back to pending. We'll have pending. Then else, it's basically just going to change it to completed. So in our update task function, from the store, in our setup function from the store, the updated field we're going to add is the status. The status we're going to update, and it's going to carry the new status. Then we choose task has been updated. So let's add a new task saying, hey, if I should click on this, see it's update the task has been updated, set the checked, which is passed from here, completed and set the completed to the new status from here. If you click it again, it removes the status. If you say go to the gym, add it, say eat some pizza, that's it. So once you delete, you can delete now. That's been deleted. You can check mark, you can uncheck, and basically that's it. Here you have it, a simple state management setup with Zustand in React Native. Well, Zustand makes it very easy to manage states with minimal boilerplate. As you can see, we didn't really have to do much or write a lot of code in order for our states to be achieved. Well, if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos coming up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.